Our aim is not only to relieve the symptom of poverty, but to cure it, and above all, to prevent it.
Every day, CEO embodies these words, spoken in 1964 by Lyndon B. Johnson at his State of the Union address. We act to fulfill the promise of community action. Each customer that enters CEO enters our continuum of care and is able to find his or her path to self-sufficiency and contribute to making the Capital Region a better place to live. As Johnson also said, there are no problems we cannot solve together, and very few that we can solve by ourselves.
The primary focus of our Early Childhood Division is Early Head Start and Head Start, and that is a federally funded program to support early learning for children and families living in poverty. Providing safe, affordable childcare is our primary objective. We're serving close to 700 children in 11 locations currently. We provide anything that the child might need in program.
They provide formula, they provide food, they provide diapers.
The intent of the program is to not only support children through early learning initiatives, academics, child development, social-emotional supports. It's also to assist the family. It might be anything from obtaining transportation, going back to school, obtaining a home.
The program, not only is it just a child care, right? You get to bring your kids here at either free or a low cost, which is great. But you have like a family advocate, so someone that if you need help, okay, I need to go to DSS, I need to apply for temporary assistance. That family advocate can get the resources for you, gather resources for you, and help you navigate the social service system. 9 years ago, I was that young mom who was just starting out, fresh out of high school. What do? I need a job, I need to go to college. Head Start has allowed me to do that. If you want something that'll be a stepping stone for your children so they can actually learn, it's federally funded, so you know that they have to meet certain criteria when they're teaching your child. They teach your child social, emotional, physical, mental, all of these kinds of building blocks so they can be self-sufficient individuals. That's what you do. You go to a Head Start program. CEO does those things.
We very much try to serve children who are 4, so they can have at least 1 year of early childhood programming before they go to kindergarten. But we do have families who enter in our prenatal program before the child is even born and stay with us until the child is 5 years old.
I have a child who has disabilities. Had we not been in early Head Start to get those early interventions, it could be a lot worse. So we're able to get it in the beginning and just start advocating now, planning now, trying to get the things out now rather than waiting to kindergarten.
We have an open door policy. People are welcome to stay and have breakfast, stay and hang out in your child's classroom, volunteer. We have a governing board called the Parent Policy Council. Come, be a part of the policy council, be empowered.
Parents of the children who are in Head Start, they can volunteer and then become substitutes. And then if they decide like, this is maybe for me, CEO allows them to go back and get their teacher's certificate so they could actually be a teacher in the classroom.
You know, Head Start was kind of the original community action program, and I think that so many of the values and the standards that were put in place 50 years ago still very much ring true. At the end of the day, the intent behind everything is to make sure that the children and the families are safe and that they're served and that we are doing everything we can to help them. We've seen growth, we've seen progress, we've seen people come out of their shell and they become parts of the community. I see changes in people every day.
CEO has allowed me to better myself and ultimately better my family. I know there's people out there that need these resources. And those barriers do exist. Will I get judged? Will they talk about me? How would I look? And the truth of the matter is you'll look like a person who needs those services, period. I didn't even know who I was gonna be back then. So you kind of almost have to take the risk to say, you know what, I'm just gonna go out there, and then you trust just one person. And when I did, the doors just opened. They weren't reluctant, they weren't stereotypical, they weren't judgmental. They were there ready to help.
Youth Build is a program that helps at-risk youth between the age of 16 and 24 with their GED. They'll give you training in writing, they'll give you training in math, social studies, science, everything that the the high school equivalency consists of. And then they have building trade. So one half of the day, one group will be in education, and then the other half of the day will be in construction. So in the construction component, they're showing you how to pick up a hammer, how to nail the nail, how to use a drill. They teach every aspect in the construction field. I was at a point in my life that I didn't know what to do. I was just frustrated, and I told myself that I needed to do something with my life. As soon as I saw the Youth Build building, I reached out to them. They told me what the program was about. It was something that just was an eye-opener for me, and I was like, you know what? I need to take advantage of this opportunity. And as soon as I took advantage of the opportunity, it completely changed my life. They basically have a process with mental toughness. They try to bring you out of your comfort zone and try to see basically who you are. You have to be on time. You have to come to class every day. You have to participate in the class. Basically, you have to want it. One thing that they don't do is they don't judge you. I mean, you can come in on probation. You could come in with a criminal background. Youth Build doesn't really focus on any of that. They focus on your well-being and not worrying about your past, just directing you into a future, into a better future. CEO tries to provide every student each resource that they might need, whether you don't have identification, whether you don't have a home. There is teenagers that struggle with mental health. They might not have that plate of food each and every day. They might not have that clothing, This program definitely reaches out to those needs, and they go above and beyond. It's not your average program. It's more of like a family. This is a second opportunity for a lot of young people out there. I'm gonna compare this to an average school. Average school, you graduate high school, you move on, you go along. If you ever needed to go back to the high school to try to get help, it's gonna kind of be difficult. They're gonna resource you out and send you other places. Youth Build, you have the resources there forever. I mean, I needed help with resumes, applications. So they're still with you after even you graduate the program. One thing that I learned through Youth Build is community service. We did a lot of community service projects with Habitat for Humanity. We built houses for low-income families. Street cleaning, we cleaned in the community. We need more programs like this in our community because it's definitely changing lives. It's not only in one community, it's in communities throughout the whole country. They choose 2 leaders out of the cycle each year to represent your Youth Build program on the national level in Washington, D.C. So when I was in that cycle, I got the opportunity to go. I wouldn't think I would ever be by the White House, advocating and sitting down with these state legislators, senators, and stuff like that. I kind of love everything about Youth Build. It brings out of you what you never would have thought you had, It brings the best out of you. In the future, I want to go to school for human services and be probably a social worker. CEO gave back to me that second life that I thought I didn't have, so I commit myself to give back not only to CEO and to my community. You have to be that voice. You have to be that person that wants to change your community. If you want to see a community a better place, if you want to see change in your community, it always starts with you.
The Foster Grandparent Program is a federally funded program. The Corporation for National and Community Service is the overseeing agency for that. We at CEO host that program for the Capital District. CEO is obviously a Rensselaer County-based agency, but we do offer this program in Rensselaer, Albany, Schenectady, Saratoga, Warren, Washington, and Columbia counties. It's open to older adults age 55 and older. Each grandparent earns a small stipend of $2.65 per hour. There is a minimum volunteer hours required of 15 per week, and you can volunteer as much as 40 hours per week. When we approach a site to take on this program and implement it into theirs, we're asking them to be a partner. We're saying, we will do X, Y, and Z, but we need you to do 1, 2, and 3. So we are really asking them, can you commit to meeting us in the middle and making this a strong partnership?
A foster grandparents is a beautiful program, and I love it. When I walk into Samaritan Hospital, I was welcome. You come into New Hope, you are welcome. You welcome, you welcome.
We have sites that range from daycare all the way up to elementary school age children. It's everything from mentoring them, nurturing them, guiding them, and teaching them coping mechanisms, how to adjust to separation from parents. So the benefit is vast.
I think it do a lot for the family because they have to go to work and they need some place to put their kids. And they'll make sure that the daycare is really safe to put their kids there. And then know that their kids are being well taken care of.
A lot of our volunteers who maybe have lost a little bit of their independence as they have aged are gaining that back. It's amazing to see how the grandparents go from maybe not driving and now they're driving to the site. They might drive to Troy for one of the training events.
We are there to help the kids. We take our time with them. We plays with them. We read books with them. Every morning my kids come in, I say, all right, y'all ready to sing? And they'll look at me, yeah. They can't talk, but they say, I say, come on now, let's start the singing.
Look who come to school today, school today, school today. Look who come to school today.
Harrison.
Good morning, Harrison. Good morning.
Then I shake his hand. How you feel, Harrison? He can't talk, but he laughs. And I go around every one of them every morning.
Yeah, go get at it.
I feel like those kids are my kids. I really do. I have one kid, his name is Matthew. His mother brought him there when he was 6 months. And she cried the whole time that she did not want to leave her baby there. I said to her, I pat her shoulder, honey, don't worry, we will take care of your child.
Hi, Matthew.
What I love about CEO being the host is that we bring a huge element of human service work. We have many programs and departments that, although they're not directly related to the foster grandparent program, the mission and the overall feeling of our agency really helps us in our program to offer better services to the volunteers, to the sites, to the children. It's a very heartwarming program to be a part of, because we do see the successes that we're looking for that we report back to our governing agency, but we also see the successes on a personal level for both the child and the volunteer.
We take a very holistic approach, looking at the whole person. We have a roadmap to services that help you find your path to self-sufficiency.
There are opportunities provided to many segments of our society based on where people live and how much money they have. And very often, there's a large segment of our society that's left out of those opportunities. And very often, those people are children. And these programs provide an opportunity for children who aren't born into those more privileged situations to have an equal playing field.
Everyone in life is always looking for a change. You know, everybody is always looking for an opportunity to change, whether it's changing job, whether it's changing the way you are, whether it's changing your lifestyle, you know, whether it's changing the way you live, everybody's looking for change. So if you want a better change, definitely, you know, there's opportunity for you.